Hey guys, it's Robbie here. I just wanted to hop on here really quickly today and really go over some Temptu product knowledge with you guys. I want to share with you the different formulas, what each formula can do. Each formula is... Hi Lindsay, thanks for joining. Each formula, I'm going to go over what is best for each skin type and tone. We're going to go over their blushes and highlighters. We're going to go over Temptu equipment. We're going to go over Temptu skin prep, kind of all the things that they have to offer. Now, if you're one of my students and you're watching, this is probably something you've heard before in a live streaming class with me, but I do get a lot of messages from people that just have simple questions of like, what formula should they use, or what equipment is the best, and different things like that. And I just wanted to take a few minutes, guys, and go over Temptu product knowledge with you guys. I'm also going to talk briefly about the difference between water-based, silicone-based, and alcohol-based airbrush makeup, and what are the differences and what are kind of the benefits of each, and why Temptu is, I feel, the #1 pro brand of airbrush makeup worldwide. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. I'll start with going over the different foundation formulas with you. If you guys have, let me do some waves here. Hey, iGlam, Lindsay. Lindsay is a former student. She took my live streaming masterclass. Hi, Lindsay. So we're going to go ahead and first thing I want to talk about is the difference between water and silicone-based airbrush makeup. So basically, when airbrush makeup was developed in the early 80s. It was actually developed for the film and TV industry when HD cameras were becoming popular. Back then, the traditional makeup that was being used didn't look good on camera, so a lot of brands started developing HD makeup for the cameras. So that's what really started the airbrush makeup revolution. Now, if you work in the film and TV industry, you know that you don't want any shimmers or dewy look or anything like that for the film and TV industry, unless, of course, the character calls for that look. The majority of the time, it has to be matte for the camera. So the first airbrush makeup formula that was developed was water-based, because water-based is going to give you that matte finish, perfect for the film and TV industry. Now, silicone, what I love about silicone is the differences in water-based and silicone. #1, we know that water-based is more matte. Silicone-based is usually more dewy look, but I'm going to explain Temptu's other formula here in a minute, that they do have a matte formula as well for film and TV. But water-based was, like I said, designed for the film and TV industry because it was matte. Now, water-based, even though it looks great, it's not going to have the longevity that a silicone base has. Water-based airbrush makeup does have longevity, but it doesn't have 18 to 24 hour wear like silicone does. It's sort of like silicone airbrush makeup will propel the water, and water-based airbrush makeup will sort of absorb water. So if the face gets wet or or your bride cries or whatever, that makeup can sort of absorb the moisture. And that's what I love about silicone, is that it doesn't absorb it into the skin. It really propels any moisture from the skin. Another benefit of High Flawless airbrush makeup, another benefit that I love of silicone airbrush makeup is that, unlike water-based, silicone airbrush makeup can soften fine lines and texture issues. So with water-based, we can still do that, but we just had to have an extra step of like a primer to smooth out fine lines and wrinkles. So with silicone, another benefit outside of the long wear is that it does smooth fine lines and wrinkles. So that's the major difference, guys, between water and silicone-based. I also want to talk to you briefly about alcohol-based airbrush makeup too. Alcohol-based airbrush makeup is really, really long wear makeup. It's usually more reserved for your special effects artist or when you do tattoo cover, which I'll explain that product here in a minute, Temptu's Dora line, which is alcohol-based. I wish I could stay and listen to all your work knowledge, but I have to go into work soon. Oh, I glam you, just watch the replay. And Flawless Airbrush Makeup asks, does it look cakey? What I love about silicone airbrush makeup, if you're used to using water-based airbrush makeup, you know that when you get around the eyes, if you're not very careful when you spray, if you don't spray very, very softly, it can settle in fine lines and wrinkles. I have tested multiple times Temptu silicone airbrush makeup. I have purposely, sprayed heavy under my eyes, and it does not crease. It really softens fine lines and texture issues under the eyes. So just keep asking questions, guys, and I'm going to go over product knowledge now with you. All right, so Temptu has two main formulas when it comes to foundation. They have their original formula, which is the SB formula. This is the OG. So this is going to, once again, give you that long wear, 18 to 24 hour wear. It's going to soften fine lines and texture issues. The finish or the look of the SB is going to be more of a dewy finish. I feel that the SB formula is best suited for dry, mature skin or for someone that wants a dewy look. So this is the SB formula. Now, can you use SB formula for all skin types? Yes, you can. The only difference is you want to powder the finished look if you use the SB on someone that's normal to oily. Now, if you know anything about airbrush makeup and Temptu, the makeup sets on contact. So the only time you need to use a powder is not necessarily to set the makeup, but basically you just powder it if the look is too dewy, like the look you would accomplish with the SB formula. So with Temptu, the only time that you need to powder the finish is if you are using SB on someone that has normal to oily skin. Let's see, Lindsay, I have a mother bride recently, so she looked perfect for SB, and she looked amazing. The SB, I love it, guys. That dry, mature skin, mother of the bride, it's going to take 10, 15 years off of her and really soften her features. Okay, so this is the SB. Once again, best suited for dry, mature. It's going to give a dewy finish, but you still can use for normal to oily. You just want to powder a little bit of that dew out, because from someone that's normal to oily, this might look too dewy. So this is the SB. Now I'm going to go over Temptu's newest formula. This is the Perfect Canvas formula. Bye. Thanks for joining Flawless Airbrush Makeup. Hope you're well. So this is Temptu's newest formula. It's a couple years old. It used to be called Hydrolock, but they have changed the name to Perfect Canvas. Now this is not going to give a dewy look. This is going to give more of a semi-matte look. So this formula, it will be perfect for if you work in the film and TV industry because it's more matte, or it's going to be perfect for someone that has normal to oily skin, or a client that requests a more matte finish. Send a request to be in your, who is this? What does that mean when someone says, send a request to be in your live video? I don't know what that means. But anyway, but thanks for joining, Claudia. So once again, the Perfect Canvas formula is the newest formula. This is best suited for normal to oily skin. It's going to give a matte look. Also, what I love about their newest formula is it has a lot of skincare built right into the foundation. So there's like white birch and just goji berry extract. So a lot of like skin loving properties in this formula. Do you prefer the Perfect Canvas for bridal? Beauty by Taryn, it just depends, like I said, on your client's look that they want achieved or their skin type. If they are dry to mature skin or they want a dewy finish, use SB. If they are normal to oily or want a matte finish, you want to use the Perfect Canvas formula. The Perfect Canvas formula I really love. If you have used the SB and you have used other water-based airbrush makeup, this is sort of right in the middle. It's not too matte, but not too dewy. What formula am I wearing? Beauty by Taryn, I'm not wearing anything right now. But when I do wear airbrush makeup, I prefer the Perfect Canvas because I'm a little more oily. So these are the two main formulas, and people always ask me, what is the best for bridal? Well, as a professional makeup artist, you need all formulas in your kit so you can customize and give your client what their skin needs, right? So we're going to keep going on. If you have any questions, just let me know. Good question, though. Glamour by Jenny, thanks for joining. I'm going to wave at you guys. Hey. So now I'm going to go over some of the other products they have. Temptu's line are all silicone based, unless you get the Dura, which we'll go over that here in a moment. They have multiple highlighters. This is white shimmer, this is gold, this is like a copper shimmer. Oh, excuse me, this is copper shimmer, and this is champagne. Now, what I love about this collection is that it is a highlight for all skin tones. So fair, I would use this. Medium and tan, I would use either my copper or my champagne. And then for our darker ladies, we want to use that beautiful gold highlight. They have more shimmers to choose from, but these, of course, are my 4 favorite. Perfect for all skin tones. Fair, medium, and then tan and dark right here for your highlighters. What I love about Temptu is all the makeup is intermixable. So even though these are highlighters for cheekbones, I can also use these as a shimmer on the lid as an eyeshadow. Yes, Lindsay, you know, of course, you've taken my class, that these can be used as eyeshadows. Here's a little tip. When I do spray a shadow on the lid, if you guys don't know me, I like a lot of glitter. Unfortunately, you can't do a glitter look with Airbrush yet. So what I like to do a lot of times is when I spray a shimmer on the lid, to make it pop a little more, I'll use like Stila Cosmetics to just take a little bit and go right on top of that shimmer, and it'll help make it pop a little more. So these are the shimmers. There's lots to choose from. Just check out their website. They have more. But those are the most popular. Thanks, Glamour by Jenny. Thanks for waving. Where are you guys from? I'd love to hear from you. Are you guys makeup artists? Are you cosmetologists? Are you estheticians? Let's hear your story. Here are blushes. So this is Pony Pink. This is Guava. And this is Coral. So I love this little collection because this is, once again, this is my fair, medium, and darker clients. So for someone very fair, I would use the pink, and then medium and dark, I would use these richer, warmer colors for blush. Hi, Glamison BK. Temecula, California, Beauty by Taron. You're not too far from me. I am in Los Angeles, so hello. What do you think about all this rain we've been getting? So those are some blushes, guys. They have more to choose from, but these are my favorites and the most popular. Next, we're going to get into some of their skin prep products. Now, if you've taken my class, you know that I always recommend and tell my students that whatever the brand recommends for skin prep, use that so you can ensure longevity of the makeup. Hi, Misty. Thanks for joining. Hope you're well. I'll wave at you guys. If you're just tuning in, please watch the replay. We're going to go over a lot of product knowledge when it comes to Temptu. So now we're going to go over Temptu's primers. Now, if you guys know airbrush makeup, you know that the makeup sets on contact. So we don't really have to worry about it moving or being rub proof. Traditional makeup, we have to use a primer. That way it will, of course, smooth out fine lines and textures, but more importantly, that it will help set the makeup so it doesn't budge. When you use primers with Temptu, or pretty much any airbrush makeup in general, the main purpose of what you're doing is just to kind of even smooth out those fine lines and texture issues even more. So, thanks for waving, Misty. I hope you're well. So this is the Temptu Base Primer. So this is going to soften fine lines and texture issues. This is going to minimize pores, just create a really beautiful canvas before you apply the makeup. So this is the Temptu Base Primer. Now I'm going to show you one of the newer products. These are the Illuminating Glow Primers. These are basically exactly the same as the base primer and does exactly the same by smoothing fine lines and texture issues and minimizing pores, but this has added benefits to it. These, just like the Perfect Canvas foundation, has skin-loving ingredients to it as well. But the main thing that you will notice is that these have pearl-infused shimmers. So these are, of course, going to give a very sort of lit from within look to your client. Now, the base primer is thicker. This would be applied traditionally with a sponge. These Illuminating Glow primers are a little bit thinner in viscosity, so these can actually be sprayed through your airbrush. You can apply this under the makeup. You can actually put a drop in and mix with your foundation, or you can spray over the finished look to give even more of a lit from within look. Honestly, I prefer to apply these traditionally with a sponge under the foundation. I just think it looks really, really beautiful. They have, this one is for fair and light skin tones, and this one's for medium and deep. Okay, so these are the Illuminating Glow primers. Now, if your client wants a more matte look, I probably wouldn't use these because of the shimmer. I would stick with my regular base primer. But if a bride or any client wants that really lit from within, healthy glow, I would go with one of these bad boys. So those are the Illuminating Glow primers. Next, we're going to go over color correction products that Temptu offers. When it comes to color correction, you'll notice with Temptu that with proper spraying technique, you can really use your foundation as a corrector. With proper spraying technique, you'll be able to conceal usually everything. Unless they have really dark under eye circles or vitiligo or rosacea, things like that, then you want to move into some color correcting products that they offer. And I'll show these to you now. Hi, thanks for joining. Really appreciate it. We are just going over product knowledge with Temptu. Earlier, we talked about the difference between water and silicone. If you're just tuning in and you missed that, just watch the replay and you can see the difference between a water-based airbrush makeup and a silicone-based airbrush makeup. So when it comes to color correcting, Temptu has a few different types of product. Whoops, almost dropped that. So this is the SB Neutralizer Wheel. As a professional makeup artist, we know what these colors are used for, to minimize dark circles, to minimize redness, different things like that. If you are a professional makeup artist and you need help with color theory, I definitely suggest that you look at a color theory class, or if you take one of my courses, I do briefly go over some color theory as well. So this is the SB Corrector Wheel. You would apply this on the area, and then you would do your concealer on top and then your foundation over that. So this is the concealer wheel, or the neutralizer wheel. The next thing that I want to show you is they are so genius. They came out with this not too long ago. They basically have this cream corrector palette now in airbrush form. So these are our airbrush color correctors. I like the cream color correctors, but I honestly like these better. These are going to set flat onto the skin. They're not going to add depth to the makeup and make it stand out and you can see it more. So these are really, really beautiful. You can spray them right under the eyes. The silicone in it is going to ensure that it doesn't settle in fine lines and wrinkles. And these babies are like magic erasers for dark circles, guys. Lindsay, yes, this is the Perfect Canvas formula. There are, let's see, 7 of them. So there's one in light peach, an airbrush corrector. We have one in regular peach, just peach, caramel, lavender, salmon, and then of course one of the more popular is green. Of course, green counteracts redness, we know that. And then yellow. Yellow I really like for under eye circles for anyone that's fair to medium skin tone. So this yellow is really going to erase any dark circles. That way when you do the under eye concealer, you don't have to use as much. So these are really, really great correctors. Good question, Lindsay. So that is, the correctors are the perfect canvas formula. All right, so we'll just keep going here. Once again, if you guys have any questions, just let me know. So this is the next product. This is the Temptu Concealer Wheel. This is meant for under eye concealing. If you are airbrusher, or if you've been trained in airbrush, or if you're one of my former students, you know that your airbrush is actually what you use to correct flaws. Okay, you don't use this to place all over the face. Okay, you use this solely for under eye coverage, and that's it. Are they also able to use if you're using SB found? Yes, you can mix Perfect Canvas and SB, Lindsay. Good question. So these are really, really great. I love these. They're pretty opaque coverage. Used by themselves, they're going to go on nice and creamy and blend out and dry kind of matte and set on contact and not settle in fine lines and wrinkles. Now, if you don't want such an opaque coverage, you can take on your palette and just mix a little bit of this with a mixing medium, excuse me, such as your base primer or a moisturizer, and apply under the eyes, and that will cut down the opaqueness. Okay, so that is Temptu's Concealer Wheel. I showed you this earlier, this is the Invisible Difference powder. Remember, with Temptu airbrush makeup, the makeup sets on contact. Unlike traditional makeup, we use powder, we have to set the makeup because it has to be blendable with a brush. The only time that you need to use powder with Temptu airbrush makeup is if you are using SB formula on someone that is normal to oily and the dew is too much, and you'll just use this to mattify them a little. Alright, let's keep going here. And stay tuned, guys. I'm going to go over the different airbrushes that Temptu has and the ones that I prefer for beauty and bridal, and we're going to go over the different compressors and things like that as well. Beauty by Taryn. Even when the client is super oily. What do you mean? Can you rephrase that a little bit for me, and I'll be happy to answer. You don't want to use SB on someone that's super oily. You would want to use Perfect Canvas. It's going to be a better option for someone that's super oily. Next, I want to talk to you about this. This is one of my favorite products. This is the SB Adjuster Starter Set. Now, if you are a professional makeup artist, you know what I'm looking at right here. I have blue, I have yellow, I have red, which are, of course, our primary shades. I also have two secondary shades in here, a green and a purple. And I also have a black and white for levels of darkness. So if you are a professional makeup artist, even traditionally, you need to have I like to call this sort of the artist collection. With your primaries and levels of darkness, you can create any shade that you want to. For example, even though Temptu doesn't really carry like a lilac purple shimmer eyeshadow, can I make it with this? If I have my artist collection, of course I can. I can mix equal parts blue, red, white, and add a drop of shimmer, and I have just created a beautiful lilac shimmer eyeshadow. So I really, really love this. You can also use this to customize foundation shades if you need to add a little bit more warmth. Add a little bit of orange by adding red or yellow. You can add a little bit of coolness. So this is a must-have for artists. Okay, let's see. Beauty by Erin. Even don't set with powder, even with an oily client. No, Perfect Canvas, you don't need to set with powder because it's matte all by itself. You don't need to set it with powder. That's the magic of airbrushed makeup, is it sets on contact. You don't have to set it with powder because it's set. The only time you need to use powder is if you're using SB because it has a more dewy finish on someone that's normal to oily or the finish looks too dewy. That's the only time that you want to use powder. So this is the SB Adjuster Starter Set. It's a must-have for makeup artists. This is your Color Theory collection, guys. Alright, now I really love this. This is Temptu's hair collection. So this is really good, guys, for if you work in the film and TV industry. You know that, say, if you part your talent's hair, if their skin tone is darker than their scalp, that scalp can read on camera. So you really want to kind of knock out that light scalp with a little bit of color so it doesn't read so much on the camera. So that's what I love these for. These are also really good to fill in hairlines, for thinning hair. It's also good for filling in beards and sparse areas. But what I really love this for, and I teach in my classes, is say you're doing a bride and she has salon highlights, and the hairstylist, or if you're doing the hair too, puts up their hair and then their highlights are kind of hidden. You can take this blonde here and mix it with a little bit of either the warm gold shimmer or the cool silver shimmer, depending on if her highlights are warm or cool. And you can kind of put in some like fake highlights in that updo. So yeah, so this is really, really good too. I also, when I have, sometimes I'll have a male barber student, and they really love this too for filling in beards and things. Also, you can add this to your menu of services if you are a bridal artist, to offer a men's grooming package with airbrush makeup. Do a little bit of airbrush foundation on them, do a little bit of beard and hair filling, so this is a great product too. Okay, so we'll keep going. Now, earlier I talked to you the differences between water, silicone, and alcohol-based. We know that water-based is more of a matte finish. It was designed originally for the film and TV industry because it is so matte. We know that the benefits of silicone is that it is 18 to 24 hour wear. It's longer than water-based. And the benefits of silicone also, it will soften fine lines and texture issues and repel water from the finished look. So now this is alcohol. Alcohol-based is pretty heavy duty, guys. This is actually 48-hour wear waterproof coverage. The only thing that would take this off is an alcohol wipe. So this, unless you're in special effects, you're really not going to really use the Dura as much. So you'd use this sort of for special effects or body painting and different things like that. And they have a lot of different shades. You guys know that I really specialize in bridal and film and TV and beauty looks, but I do like to have some alcohol based in my kit just for if I'm doing any type of runway backstage things or need to do any type of little body painting. So that is the Dora line of Temptu. Now, where you beauty artists will use Dora is the Total Skin collection. So this is what you'll use for tattoo cover. This is, once again, 48-hour wear rub-proof tattoo cover. So this is a really great product to have in your kit. And I actually teach, of course, how to use this product and do tattoo cover in my masterclass. Let's see, what else we have here? So we went over that. So now we're going to start going over the different equipment, the different airbrushes. So we explained water, silicone, and alcohol. We went over the products. So now we'll do the equipment and airbrushes. So Temptu has two main different types of airbrushes. They have the SP35 and the SP40. The SP35 is a dual action airbrush. The SP40 is a single action airbrush. A dual action airbrush, you have to push down for air and then pull back for makeup. Now, I know some beauty artists that are doing airbrush that do like to do it with a dual action, but I honestly feel a dual action airbrush is best reserved for special effects artists. As the SP40 brush, as single action, you don't have to push down for air and then pull back for makeup. As soon as the airbrush is on with this single action, air constantly comes out. Makeup will only come out when you pull back on the lever, okay? So that's the benefit. I don't like a dual action on beauty makeup because, think about it, if I have to push down for air and a blast of air hits my client, they will immediately go like this. With a single action like the SP40 here, they have constant air pressure on their face, which by the way is very low pressure, 10 or 11 psi. Feels really nice on the skin. It also will kind of cool your bride down if they're hot. The client constantly feels air on the skin. When you pull back on the lever, makeup will be delivered and they will not know the difference between the air and when you're actually applying makeup. So that just helps keep their face really nice and relaxed. So that is the Temptu SP40 brush. This is the brush that's actually included in all of my courses. So now we will go over the different types of equipment that Temptu has to offer. Temptu does have one of their original compressors. If you look on their website, it's a little bit bigger, a little bit bulkier. It has a handle on top. That one is an amazing compressor, but I feel that it's just a little too big, and it's probably still reserved for like your special effects type artists, or if you're doing body painting and things like that. The next compressor is the 2.0 compressor. This is the compressor that is included in all of my courses. This is very small, it's compact, it's light, it goes from a 0 to a 25 psi. Even though we're only spraying it at 10 or 11 psi, it gives us that power when we need it. For example, if we have a clog in our brush, we can turn this baby all the way up and blast that clog out. I really love this compressor. I think it is best for bridal and beauty and film and TV. And once again, it does go from a 0 to a 25 psi. Even though we don't use the 25 psi to spray the makeup, it's nice to be there when we need it. When we have a clog, we can turn that compressor all the way up. Which is another thing I love about silicone-based airbrush makeup, is that it hardly ever clogs. It sprays like butter. Thank you, Temptu. So that is, we went over the airbrushes, we went over the 2.0 compressor, which I personally love, and that's what's included in my courses. Now I'm going to talk to you about the Temptu Air. So the Temptu Air, I really love this, guys. I use the Temptu Air when I am doing myself at home, or if I am working a job where I don't have electricity, or if I'm working runway and fashion. If you see on my Instagram page, I did work the ISSE show backstage for Martino Cartier, who is amazing, by the way. If you didn't see their show on the main stage, it was beautiful. I have some photos, check it out. But I like to use this backstage too when I don't want to have to fight with trying to find electricity. With that being said, I truly feel that the a real airbrush such as the Temptu SP40, even though the Temptu Air does a lot, I feel that if you are doing airbrush, especially on a bride, and they're paying high dollar, I honestly feel, my professional opinion, that you should use a real airbrush. I think it just looks more professional, and yeah, I just like it. And also, not only that, is in my classes, especially in my master class, I'm going to teach you how to do, winged eyeliner, cut crease, smoky eye, eyebrows, and different things like that. Those type of looks are very intricate and require this type of airbrush, okay? The Temptu Air I love for foundation, blush, and highlight. But when you get into more eyeshadow type looks, cut creases and smoky eyes and winged eyeliner and things, I feel that this is, of course, a better option. So the Temptu, if you guys notice, they also have pods. I don't have any with me right now, but basically they're pre-filled makeup that you can attach to the compressor. I feel that I don't necessarily like the pods as much. I feel that they're a little bit more consumer. But this is the AirPod Pro you can attach to it, where you can lift off and put your makeup right in and customize and mix just like you do a real airbrush. So that's my honest opinion. I love the Temptu Air. Like I said, I love it for myself. I love it if I don't have access to electricity, or I love it when I'm doing runway backstage things. For more intricate looks or high paying jobs or film and TV, I love a real airbrush. For example, when I work film and TV, in the trailer I'm using the SP40 to create the look. And then after I'm done in the trailer, when I go on set, on my set bag, that's when I'll take my Temptu Air. I'll throw it in my set bag. So I'll do the original look with my SP40 and take this on set in my set bag. So that is the different equipment. Thanks for tuning, guys. I'll wave at you. If you have any questions, just let me know. We've went over the different formulas and went over the airbrushes and the different equipment. What else here? So went over the equipment. We went over the airbrushes. Now we'll talk about the benefits of Temptu in general. There are a lot of airbrush makeup companies on the market, we know this. But guys, do your research, do your homework. You'll see Temptu is the #1 pro airbrush brand on the market. And me personally, I hear some makeup artists, no shade, promise, but I hear some makeup artists like when I've heard in the past doing airbrush, they may do it with a brand that is more as seen on TV. Nothing wrong with that, but me personally, if I'm charging $300 for a bride, I want to use a product such as Temptu that is very professional and not as seen on TV, $19.95 or $19.95 down. So that's my honest opinion. I just feel that. Temptu, Michael, who's the CEO, they're amazing. Guys, they specialize in creating these products for us artists. They specialize in making it easy for us film and TV artists, our bridal artists, all across the world to work smarter and not harder. And that's what it's all about. You want to work smarter and not harder and make your money, right? So we went over water, silicone, alcohol, went over products, equipment, airbrushes, all the benefits of Temptu. As I was saying, Temptu, if you guys know my career, I started with a brand that was water-based. This brand is an amazing brand themselves, but I switched to Temptu because I really love the finish. I love the silicone, that it smooths fine lines and texture issues. You can really give a dewy nice look. And plus it has that 24-hour longevity and repels water. So now, I want to talk about my courses. Now, if you're one of my former students watching, this all sounds very familiar to you. I definitely even go more in depth in product knowledge. I go over product knowledge for all brands of airbrush makeup in my courses. I have Face 101, which is live streaming. All my courses are live streaming, by the way. That way that anyone in the world can get advanced training in beauty airbrush makeup in the comfort of their own home or studio. My live streaming classes are a one-on-one, just me and you and our models. They're not pre-recorded and they're not in a group. It's a private. I only take 8 to 10 students a month. So with that being said, I offer Face 101, which is live streaming. It includes a 2.0 compressor with an SP40 brush, and it includes all your foundations. It's a 2-hour course. You're going to learn correct, conceal, and foundation. Face 102 is live streaming, a 4-hour course. You're going to learn full face beauty airbrush makeup. It comes with your kit. You're going to learn correct, conceal, foundation, blush, contour, highlight, brows, eyeshadows, and a pencil eyeliner look. The most popular is the masterclass, which is an 8-hour live streaming masterclass with just me and you, like I said. That one includes Face 101, Face 102, and a lot of advanced techniques. In the masterclass, you're going to learn even how to do a winged eyeliner with your airbrush. You're going to learn how to do bottom smoky eyeliner with your airbrush, sort of like a smudged out look. You're even going to learn how to do a cut crease and a smoky eyeshadow with your airbrush. Brows, lips, all that stuff. In the masterclass, we go over men's airbrush makeup. You also will be taught how to use the Temptu Dora formula for 48-hour waterproof tattoo cover. And if you look at the website, the kit for that one has a lot of stuff. It has a lot of stuff. The kit's valued at almost $600. So in that large kit for the masterclass, you're actually going to get, of course, your equipment. You're going to get a master collection in foundations. You're going to get a master collection of highlighters, a master collection of blushes, a master collection of contour shades. You're going to get a concealer wheel. You're going to get primer. You're going to get your Temptu Dora for your tattoo cover. So you're going to get everything. Oh, Lindsay, thank you so much. Lindsay was my student a few weeks ago. Lindsay is a hairstylist, and she recently added airbrush makeup to her menu of services. Lindsay, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. Training beauty artists and sharing what I have learned in Hollywood and working in product development for airbrush makeup for the past 5 years, and now taking all of that and sharing with my fellow artists all over the world. I truly, it's my passion. I want to see all of my fellow artists step out and do something different. The makeup world is booming right now, and to stand out, you have to have a specialty skill or something different about you to help you stand out more, I feel. And I truly feel that full face beauty airbrush makeup gives you that tool. Most courses in airbrush makeup that you take maybe only teach you foundation, blush, and highlight. Take a look at my website. Take a look at my Instagram. All of my looks that I have done are full face beauty, and I'm going to teach you how to do everything, even down to that winged eyeliner with the airbrush. Back in November, can you believe it's that long? Oh my goodness, has it been that long? November, December, January, 3 months ago. So my courses are only open to beauty professionals. So to take my course, you have to be a cosmetologist, an esthetician, or a working makeup artist with a portfolio and website. Because I'm originally a hairstylist myself. Went to beauty school in Paul Mitchell on the East Coast. Hey, Paul Mitchell, love my family there. And if you're a hairstylist watching me right now, you are really doing a disservice to your client if you're not offering makeup or airbrush makeup to your clients. You don't want to take care of your client in your beautiful salon, not have any makeup training, and then send them somewhere for their makeup that doesn't have any professional training outside of self-taught. Nothing wrong with that, guys. I'm just being real with you guys, but there is a big difference, okay? Someone that has professional training. So take a look at my courses. Once again, they are only open to people that are in the beauty industry. If you do want to take one of my courses, I'll have a phone interview with you. But if you do want to take one of my courses and you're new to the industry, you don't have any experience, what I'll do is recommend you take at least an art class or some sort of makeup theory class. That way, when you take my class, because this is an advanced class, you're not just lost. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you in a class soon. You can check out all my courses on my website, airbrushmasterclass.com. You can click on who we are. You can learn about my industry experience, what I've done to get here, what I've done to kind of bring this training to artists globally via live stream. And I hope to meet each and every one of you one day. And just remember, whatever your dreams are, whatever your goals are, just stay focused, surround yourself with positive people, and find mentors in this industry that you look up to, that wants to see you succeed just as much as them. Have a great night, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye.